Hooray! Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Hawaiian Paradise Park on the beautiful Big Island of Hawaii, where we just apparently had 2 weeks of rain. Last week I was in my little, I guess that's a living room. Yeah, it's like a bedroom we converted into a living room. It's not a traditional living room. Which is much less glamorous than out here with all the plants. I find the plants to be, there's like, wah, like so much more than a painted wall. But I'm grateful to be able to come and share with you in any way I can. It's always fun to have something not available. I love that. To have something that is not available, and then you just appreciate it even more when it's not available. It's really a good teaching, it shows that appreciation is always so valuable and always feels so good to just take that space. There's no time or space really, there's nothing like that really. It's just that we dream that is the case, and then we think we don't have time. But you have all this time to just watch, watch what it feels like to appreciate. I mean, when I was kind of like coming up in out of the systemite kind of mentality, and and into a more like broad open frame of mind, one of the first things I heard was, "Oh, I appreciate you, Jerry. Thank you." One of the first things that I heard from a psychic, I started to go to psychic channelings, and she was channeling Mother Mary, and she said, just appreciate whatever you can. And she said, especially appreciate plants. And I had never thought of that before, to just appreciate plants. Right. But I noticed right away in my experience where I'd found myself appreciating plants today, before, apparently before. It's all happening now, but that's why we could just recall it so fast. It's like, oh, there it is. And it's always a teaching, whatever you recall, that's what it is. That's what a memory is. You call it a teaching. So the memory immediately pops into my mind when I hear that you should appreciate plants from Mother Mary, right? Of me at probably about 22 years old, laying out by a pool in Costa Mesa in an apartment complex, okay? And I saw how they had landscaped the area around the pool. And I especially noticed this large pot. It actually like kind of like gives me like this really loving feeling just to even like focus on that. It's really a trip, that moment. But there is this huge round thing of plants, beautiful plants, flowers, whatever. I don't remember exactly what it looked like. But I just remember this sense of appreciation for that plant, and how, and I didn't really catch it at the moment that I was in appreciation of the plant while I was laying at the pool. But later on, I realized how good that felt, how good it feels even right now to even just reflect on that moment of appreciation, and then like later on, like about, I don't know, 12, 13 years later on, I hear that from a psychic, and I go, oh, and it just like clicks with me, and I started appreciating plants, and I just started feeling so good. Whenever I would just like look out the window, because my husband was always a gardener. This is his handiwork all around me. Whenever I would look out my window in my little yard, it was much smaller than this, and see plants, I would just let myself have a sense of appreciation for them, no matter if I felt stressed or like I needed to think, because you have to stop thinking about whatever what you think is important right now to appreciate the plants, right? It's just so good for you. It's such a break. It's such a break in the regular everyday way, So I would drive around and appreciate plants, because one thing they do in Orange County, California, is they have, like, I think it's a law that they have to plant so many plants all the time. So there's fucking plants everywhere. It's great. I mean, the thing is a grid. It's the matrix. Traffic sucks. But you know what? The freeways are nice because they put plants all over the sides of them. They even put ivy going up on the wall, you know, so it's like a plant wall. But yeah, there was just really, I was like, wow, once I started appreciating plants, I'm like, look how many plants are here. Fuck. I was noticing the drudgery of the thing, right? And it's like, shit, once you start noticing plants, look how many plants are here. Oh, the government even mandates that plants have to be planted. They'll just come over your house if you say, I need a tree in front of my house, and plant it for you. For free. So the more I appreciate, the more I find to appreciate. That is the case. And that was one thing, you know, I noticed when I was playing out the activist role. There was not as much as far as in the focus of that work showing itself like that as obviously appreciable. Everything is appreciable, right? But obviously appreciable. like everything is really to be appreciated. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It's just that some things are easier to appreciate, right? I mean, plants, it's really simple, you know. The sense that a bunch of Nazis are taking over the world and you need to fight against them, that's a different kind of sense that, you know, you gotta like really look deeply to appreciate. So you can say it's more of a challenge. So it's not like saying you should or shouldn't do anything. It's like when you find, because you don't have a choice. Again, you don't have a choice in what you seem to do in a fucking dream. Okay. That's the thing. So if you would be willing to appreciate just what it is, like whatever it is, that's it. That's where it's at, you know. And it's willingness to appreciate. It's not I should be appreciating. That's different. Shit, I'm not in appreciation at all. You can just like acknowledge I'm not in appreciation at all right now. You know what, right now for me, you guys, the contrast is so intense. I notice when I'm not in appreciation, I cannot spend a lot of time not in appreciation. Okay. And I know it's the norm for most people to spend most times in not appreciation. Okay. Really, appreciation is synonymous too with a nice deep belly breath. Okay. And in the illusion, that actually helps you to get blood and oxygen everywhere and like, you know, keep your body healthy in the illusion. Okay, but see, the cause comes from the mind is what I'm saying. That's why I keep on saying in the illusion, because the cause is coming from the mind. The cause of the blood and oxygen constriction is coming from the mind. It's tension. It's just tension. It's unwillingness to appreciate. See? So when it comes clear to you, that's where all the blocks are coming from. There's only one thing to do. Appreciate. And notice when you think you got other things to do, that you cannot possibly be in appreciation simultaneously. That wasn't anything that came to me before Wisdom Dialogues. I told you guys. I had some downloads before Wisdom Dialogues. That wasn't anything. It wasn't like anything. But I'll tell you what, I feel wide awake now. I was feeling sleepy when I first walked up here at 3 o'clock, but right now I feel wide awake. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, I love it when I see certain Facebook posts. I just want to say, I love Facebook. Okay. I know the perception is that, you know, they're controlling and putting forth a certain agenda and being assholes in a lot of ways, banning people and stuff like that. Um, but, you know, it's like today I saw why I appreciate Facebook. This is just so awesome. I mean, for everything, for all those things, because they bring up a sensation. But, you know, over and over again, more times than the other times, what I'm appreciating about Facebook, because what's coming up is I'm perceiving your guys's posts, and it's fucking awesome. You know, like it's just, it's amazingly awakening. I was right before I came on, I found myself on Facebook and I see this post and I'm like, wow, it's just like, sometimes I'll just open it, I'll see something, I'll close it and I'll be like, bing. I don't even need to go back to it. I got it. Okay, good. It'll just be like as a progression like of understanding. And it's funny because the post I saw was about desire and understanding, and it was so great. It was about wanting, desiring. The word uses desire. I went through a phase like this too, about desiring all kinds of different shit. You could find it on Facebook. I go all the way back to 2009. I don't know what phase it was, but you know, someone creative can like download that shit and type in desire. You'll see desire for a certain period of time where I'm playing with that thing and I'm thinking I desire shit in the world. So it's always fun to see stuff. And you know, I don't think anyone who posts anything on Facebook is actually outside of me. I know it's just my mind playing tricks and playing games with me, so it's really fun, you know. So that's where I always take it, because when I take it there, I don't have anything to teach anyone. And you know, it's like having the sense that I have something to teach someone is not appreciation. I can't believe in that and also be in appreciation at the same time. The appreciation comes from the sense that I'm learning from the situation. And I can't even have the sense that I'm learning from the situation if I have a desire, if I think I have a desire to teach someone who's separate from me. My desire is the same as all desires, and that is wholeness. That's the realized wholeness. Realize what's actually here. Okay. The apparent desire to teach someone something is a distraction. It's a total distraction. Okay. The apparent teaching in the manifestation that arises spontaneously. I don't have a choice in that. I don't have anything to say about it. I know it brings me joy to be in this role, and that, you know, and that's really fun. And I know that if I'm not in this role, you know what, I'm going to find joy in some motherfucking thing that I seem to be doing. It doesn't matter where I am or what kind of circumstances it is, because, you know, that's just in all of us. We have that way. Okay. So the sense that you desire something, and in this case, desire men to understand what it means to be able to put their penis inside of women's yonis. So that's a really fun one. Anne's cracking up. She loves this shit. The stories are great, aren't they? I love how entertaining they are. I love how entertaining the fucking stories are. It's hilarious. Okay. Okay. So I get it. You're like, man, I keep on fucking around and all I'm finding is dudes that are disrespecting the yoni here. All I want is for you guys to understand. Look it, they're not there. They're not there. Okay. That's a total choice. Okay. It's not you're not choosing to have sex with that particular person. You're not doing that. You're not choosing that. You don't have a choice in that. Okay. That's a choice in how you want to see yourself. That's a choice in that. See, here's the thing. Here's how the play goes when you know that you have dominion. Guy comes up to you. He's flirting with you. He's got a vibe like he wants to disrespect the yoni. You're like, oh, that's cute. Thank you for coming up and talking to me. Have a nice day. Like, carry on. You can't help it because that's the way it plays out. Because you're not going for that. That's not something that you need right now. Okay, if you need it, you're gonna get it. If you find yourself in a position where you're like in your tantric whatever thing you got going on, and a dude's boner is in you, and you think that it's being disrespected, great. What a great opportunity. What a wonderful opportunity to demonstrate to your own mind that there's no separation. Thinking that you want them to be different or the situation to be different is actually a distraction. I mean, can you imagine? Wait a second, my love. Let's take a break. I feel like the yoni is being disrespected. I know it's not about you. I'm just playing a trip on myself. People are going to fucking understand. You know why they're going to understand? Because you're willing to understand for yourself instead of taking it as if that person needs to learn something. See? So when the idea occurs to me that the person needs to learn something, immediately I notice that, oh my God, how interesting to be projecting that a person needs to learn something from me. And here's the thing in that. You can't teach anything of value from a position where you're unwilling to learn. Let me say it again. You cannot teach anything of value from a mental position that you don't have anything to learn from that same person that you think you need to teach. That's a sign. It's always a sign. What a distraction to get caught up in that kind of mind loop, huh? I wish the world would understand that you don't need people to understand you. Isn't that so fun? No, it's all for me. I know it's all for me. So the understanding that's coming is for me. It's not for them. There's never been anyone there. And it's like, we give ourselves roles too. That's what's really fucking stupid. It's funny and stupid. It's like cute and funny and dumb. Okay. It's like we give ourselves these roles and we prop things up in the world as if something's wrong in the world and it needs us to do something about it. All of the roles we give ourselves are like that. Look at it's like all about making like some kind of meaningful, something meaningful, something that appears to be meaningful. People really need this kind of work. And that's, you know, that's the trick because of the fact that it's more dreamlike. Okay. It's occurring to us as perception. We're not in charge of it. We're not doing anything in it. It's just occurring to us as perception. And the thing about perceptions, you know, one friend was saying how she was talking about how she lost the child and how quickly this seemingly really happy, blissful, joyful dream turned into a complete fucking nightmare, right? That's how illusions are. They're just changeful like that. It's not anyone's fault. It's just illusions. Illusions are changeful. So the thing about you is you're not changeful at all. Everything that occurs to you is just passing. So when you get into when you get into a kind of alignment with okay and acceptance of that's the case, everything's changeful, you don't concern yourself about what those changes are because you're appreciating. Again, it comes back to appreciation today. I didn't even know that before I started talking to you guys. Appreciating the situation just allows it to turn out in your favor every single time. Like, for instance, for me, when I found myself at the bottom of that jagged 5-foot cliff, immediately it was like, thank you. I didn't know what the situation was. I had no idea if I was able to fucking get up. No clue yet. But that's the thing. It's like, if you're in the mode of appreciation, you can appreciate anything because you know what it's for, and you understand that everything's passing and everything's for you. You get to that understanding through appreciation. I notice so much when I'm not in appreciation. It's so painful for me. I can't believe anything I'm thinking in that moment, no matter how much it feels like a hook, even if I'm pretending to believe in it. And you know how I know I'm pretending to believe in it? Because I have oversight of the one believing in it. I can sense that the one believing in it is also one that I made up. I know I'm pretending to believe in it. That awareness of it makes it so it cannot last. It doesn't get lodged as another adhesion in the mind. It doesn't get lodged like that as a groove, as a pattern, because it's not taken on as, oh, that's just the way it is. Because it's not the way I think it is. And the only way for me to come back to appreciation when I think something is wrong, or like, for instance, someone that I think I want to have sex with doesn't respect my yoni, for instance, I can't be in appreciation and hold that thought at the same time. Because if someone needs to change, I'm not seeing it clearly. I'm not seeing it clearly. I'm not accepting what the lesson is in that. I'm looking to give a lesson out to someone else in order to try to make myself feel better. There are no desires that are real or meaningful in this world. It doesn't matter how real or meaningful they seem. How about this one? I need my partner, or I desire for my partner to be more in touch with their feelings. That seems like a good one, right? To latch on to, right? I need them to do that. They could just only understand. They can only see things the way I see things. That's another one of those things. It's giving you an opportunity. That's a teaching, learning experience for your mind. You see how these things compound and make so much confusion in a day? Oh, there's no day, but you know what I mean. The apparent span of time seems to be what we call a day. I told my son or my daughter, one of them, it was my daughter, it was Akea. Hi, Kea, yay. I'm talking about you. Well, she said her boyfriend likes to live more in a ghetto kind of area because, he does stuff like work on things outside in weird hours, like tweaker hours, And I'm like, yeah, if you're in like a middle class kind of neighborhood and you're out in the middle of the night and they can see that your light is on and you're working on shit in the middle of the night, they're going to think you're a tweaker, right? And I go, man, I'm like always finding myself up at those hours, just like, tweaker hours, I guess you would say. And if I was doing something outside, my neighbors would probably think the same thing of me too. It's like, I don't have a preference on when I sleep. I don't have any preference on that. I do notice that when I find myself up, like this morning, apparently it was 1 a.m. And at that apparent time, there's not a shitload of going on in my house, apparently. Most of the time. That would be very rare. Everyone's sleeping at that time. Well, no, not everyone. My son Braun is in his room, probably playing video games. I don't know. I asked him. I noticed. I assume he plays video games, but he tells me he does other stuff too. Like he watches stuff, he talks to people, and who knows. But anyways, it's so nice and quiet, and I find that all kinds of stuff flows. There will be like self massage. There will be, stuff for Miracle Botanicals. I'll get inspired to write an email. I'll just see whatever I feel inspired to. Like I don't have a preference really on what occurs between the hours of 1 and when did I go down again? 11 a.m. I heard something, a friend of mine, Molly, who's into Ayurveda stuff, she said that Ayurveda has a thing against day napping. Like that's not a good thing to do, to be day napping. And I just heard that and I'm like, oh, that's fun. I just think it's fun how we set little things up in our perception to make it seem like, or make it, okay, here's something I need to evaluate about myself. Is this really okay that I slept from this hour? I don't know what time was the night before, but this hour to this hour, and then this hour to this hour, and then this hour to this hour. Is that okay? Mainstream will tell you when you're supposed to be sleeping, right? And when I say mainstream, I'm saying the conditioned mind, okay? This is my mind. Yeah, my mind has a mainstream in it. See that? Seems like I'm up against a lot. I know it's not true. I know it's not really true, but it seems like I'm up against a lot because there's like a mainstream. There's like a most people way of thinking that arises in my perception. There's actually no one there. That's what's fun. There's actually no one there. It's just a sign of how deluded I am. I have a mainstream in my mind. There's a mainstream way of thinking in my mind that is fucking insane. It's an insane mainstream of thinking. So I'm definitely less delusional than I was when I thought that shit was true. But I still have, and it seems prevalent, and I know there's no what is it? There's no hierarchy or something. I'm not sure the way to say it, but there's no illusion that's stronger than another or bigger than another. So having the illusion of the mainstream, okay, that says, okay, you are fucking deluded, Hope, to have an illusion of a mainstream and even of a world that's separate in your mind. You're not seeing things clearly. That's good to know. Okay. Because then I can hold it in a way like, isn't this insane that I'm projecting that the mainstream is this? Isn't this insane and fun? Because, it's up to me to demonstrate to my own mind, not someone outside of myself, because there's no one there. It's up to me to demonstrate to my own mind that this thing playing out has no power, no meaning, and no effect. That's why it's given me like that. And since there is no difference between illusions, so it could be one that looks huge, like the mainstream way of thinking, right? Yeah, something that looks huge like that, or it could be just a little frustration. Either one can be removed in an instant. It is changeful, just like my friend saw that a seemingly happy, blissful life, because seeming happiness and bliss is coming from the fucking circumstances. That's insane in the first place. Your happiness and bliss does not come from your circumstances. It's quite the other way around. Your happiness and your circumstances come from your happiness or your sense of dread. Okay, so be glad when circumstances are reflecting your sense of dread, because what you want to do is bring that sense of dread to the surface so it can be resolved. See, And when I say you, again, I'm speaking to myself. I know that. I hope you know that too, but not really. You can do whatever you want with it. Stuff just comes out of this. It doesn't really mean anything. Hope Johnson is an illusion. One of my friends posted on Facebook this week. It was great. Yes, Hope Johnson is an illusion. Hope Johnson is also an idiot. Anything that comes out of this thing is nothing. You are projecting me exactly as you need me to be. It's not anything different than that. I'm not coming to you. I'm not popping up in your dream against your will. You make me whatever it is you want. Yes, Hope Johnson is an illusion. The one that thinks she's Hope Johnson is an illusion. The one that is playing out and pretending to be Hope Johnson is also an illusion. Isn't that awesome? But then I am not an illusion. That's the way it is. And that's the same goes for everyone and everything. The way you see it is an illusion, but it is not an illusion. The way you see it, the way, let's put it this way, the way you think you see it, because you don't even see it when you're not seeing it truly. You know, you can say that, you know, I'm getting the word light, light, light. It's just light. It's like pillars of light. Anything you see other than that, you think you see. It's not what you made of it. Everything that you made of it is an illusion, but it is not an illusion in itself. Someone mentioned, oh, I think it was Teal Swan. Apparently, Miracle Botanicals follows Teal Swan. So I was on Miracle Botanicals on Instagram. And by the way, if you want to follow us, it's now Miracle Botanicals. It was one word, Miracle Botanicals. It's Miracle Botanicals. We changed our thing. Okay. So I happened to be on my phone as Miracle Botanicals. So I was on the Miracle Botanical scroll. I'm just seeing all this stuff from Teal Swan. I'm like, I didn't realize what was going on at first. I was like, what the hell? Am I on her page? What's going on here? how did I get here? But apparently we don't follow that many people on our new Instagram. So anyway, she was talking about consensus reality and about, you know, it's not really like it's just you and there's not other people. You know, and that's a really good, I felt that I was like, wow, that's a really good clarification. It's not a really good way of clarifying it. Like when your mind is purified, everyone's going to appreciate and show gratitude for you. That's the thing. You know, and you can call that a consensus reality because it's like whatever you're putting out, you're seeming to get back. Whatever you're extending, you're seeming to get back, whether you're extending or projecting. So it's like, really, you can't really do, like, you're either extending, because extending is what you are, right? What you are is truth. What you are is meaning. What you are is hope and love, okay? Projecting is a different story. It's trying to make something else. It's trying to make something other than that. So depending on that, is what you're receiving, what you've given already, and what you're giving right now. See, it's all the same. All the time is converged in this moment. There's no such thing as time as we think we know it, like it went before. So it's like the culmination of every choice you made between truth and illusion is playing out in this moment. The culmination of it is playing out in this moment. And that's giving you a perception of a world. So, you know, once your mind is purified of the guilty concept completely, number one, everyone appreciates you. People are not capable of having a thought that defiles you. They're not capable of having a thought that defiles you in your view, in your perception. You can never get a perception of that. when your mind is purified of the guilty self-concept. You see how it's consensus reality like that? Because it's like everyone is showing you the contents of your mind. That's another thing about thinking you desire someone to understand something. No, you don't desire someone to understand something. No, that's not it. You know, they are showing up exactly as you need right now. So that's the trick, that you desire them to understand something and change something, because exactly the way they're showing up is the lesson for you. So it's like, can I, and you know, people have these intense patterns with people. Well, they have the patterns with themselves. But there's like this intensity where it's like, they're like, wow, this person really did this thing to me. And I could feel it in my jaw right now, just getting into that energy. It just tenses right up, man. Like, I don't even want to go there. I get the perception that, you know, there's people in my world playing this thing out where it's like someone has wronged me so bad. Someone has so wronged me so much. And I know how that feels, man. I get it. Okay. When I get a perception like that, I go, all right. I know how you feel. Remember that, Anne, and we were in family constellations, and the woman was, family constellation is something where you play out, like you act stuff out. And this woman was acting something out, and then I was coached to before I was coached, I was asked, can you feel her? What does it feel like? And I go, and I just tuned in and I noticed feels good, right? And then she goes, tell her now, I feel you. And so when those words came out of my mouth, I feel you, then I got it. What feeling she was expressing or going through or trying to project, basically. You know, all upset feelings are projected. They're not real. They're not real. So I go, I feel you to her. And I'm like, ooh, now I got it. Okay. You know, so noticing when I'm willing to feel, and it's like when I get the sense that something is wrong, I notice that I'm just like willing to feel. What is it? If a person in my perception feels like something's wrong, just willingness to feel that with them. Let's feel that together, right? In that particular moment, it was like we were acting. So I was like, it feels fine. And then I got what feeling she was meaning to project. And that's all it is. That's all it is. That's all the feeling is. It's a meaning to project. And it's the same thing. When I perceive an upset feeling coming from another person, that's the feeling that they are meaning to project. Okay. From my perception, I'm interpreting their projection. I'm just interpreting their projection. Whatever they're meaning to project, they're having a lonely experience. Totally. They're feeling alone in a lonely experience. For that, I can have compassion in that. I can't really know what they're experiencing, but I can feel with them my interpretation of what they're trying to project. I say trying to project because no one can project. The projection doesn't, well, they can, but you know what, a projection, there's a projector and there's a screen, right? The projection did not leave the source. So it's not like it came over to me. It's not like that thing touched me. It never touched me. See? So it's an interpretation. It's my interpretation of what they're meaning to project. I have no idea what's going on with them or anything. They're always meaning to project it, even if they're intentionally acting. We were playing out a thing where we are actors. They're always, you know, and she's doing a good job. She's crying, she's acting all, and then someone goes, how does she feel to you? She feels great. And that's the thing, all of you guys all feel great to me. You guys feel great. You're great. You're innocent. You could say your spiritual body is vibrating with this innocence and bliss and love, and you know, all it takes is willingness for me to see through the perception I made, and I'm kind of like seeing in the spirit, not with the physical eyes. In the physical sight, you still look like you're outside of my own body in a body, but with a spiritual sight, like I could sense who you are. So the way I know you is way different from the way you know yourself in most cases. You know, I have a couple friends who know themselves in the same kind of light and glory that I know people, but it's rare. It's really rare. You know, I read something here. Here comes Facebook again, giving me the best teachings in the world. Read something from another friend who is talking about how with spiritual sight you could see whether someone's spiritual body is luminous or not. And I'm like, well, shit, that doesn't sound like spiritual sight to me at all. How is our spiritual, how is it that our spiritual sight is capable, would be capable of perceiving something other than itself? You know, it's even in, you know, it's not capable of perceiving in the first place. Spiritual sight, that's seeing. Seeing is seeing the reality. The reality is there's no scars or marks or anything on anyone. No one's dirty. It's all light. Again, you know, pillars of light just arise in my mind. It's just all light. Empathic. Aloha, Dia. I love you. Yay. Yeah. And, you know, the way empathy is put across, you know, it's like, and here's the thing about empathy too. Empathy is like an emotion, a fearful feeling. It really is a fearful feeling because it's a sense that sense is real. See, it's a sense that feeling sense is real. It's totally different from compassion, but it leads to compassion. So it's good. Empathy is awesome. Okay. Empathy is, you know, for me, empathy has just been something that's like, not for me for a long time. For a long time, I saw through that because, and you know, the way I'm defining it may be different than the way people use words too. So words are tricky like that. So I'm using a particular definition of empathy too. When I'm talking about it like this, I'm saying that you get into like their upset feeling is really real. And see, that's where people, that's like the delusional kind of empathy where people will go, oh my God, I went through this, or I'm going through this, and it's so upsetting. And you agree with them that is upsetting. The thing is, it's not upsetting because no one's upset for the reason they think. No one's ever upset for the reason they think. So the last thing I want to do is teach and learn that someone's really upset because of something that went on that hurts me, that hurts my mind, to agree with a thought that says, because of this, I feel like this. I just don't agree with that. It's always been like, ew. And for a while, I felt kind of like angry or projectile toward people who would even try to practice empathy. But now it's not like that at all. That's like if someone is empathetic, it's just an awareness. There's empathy. It's not me. It's not outside of myself. It's just part of a dream. It's the same as if I was giving into empathy, perceiving another person giving into empathy. It's the same thing. There's no difference between where it's arising. So I noticed that with empathy, I'm just going, okay, I feel empathy right now. I feel like, you know, I might get the sense like, oh my gosh, how terrible must that feel? Like I felt empathy for, what was that actor's name who shot someone on the set? He shot a person on the set apparently. And then there's like all this shame and all this stuff coming out. And I felt empathy for that particular actor, whatever his name was. And I noticed that I felt the empathy, and I noticed that it was an opportunity. I said, oh, great. Thank you. Because I know there isn't an actor outside of myself shooting anyone on set. It's just a play so I can get a sense. So I got a sense of empathy. What do I do with empathy? I give it over to the Holy Spirit, you can say. I just give it to the Holy Spirit. So here's empathy. And then that leads to an opening of compassion. And basically, the empathetic thoughts are what I'm giving over. The thoughts that say, oh my God, this is what is that like? But I allow myself to go into whatever it is, wherever I find myself being led into any kind of thoughts or anything like that and feelings, and let myself have that experience. So it's kind of like it's kind of like bringing up your own trauma. Anytime you have a perception of anything or anything's wrong, that's what empathy is. It's bringing up your own trauma, and it's there to be resolved. Alec Baldwin, I felt it too. Oh my God, he's living with that pain. Yeah, he's not there living with that pain. That's our trauma coming up. That's a trauma coming up in the mind. See, and it helps the dude, Alec Baldwin is the dude's name. It helps the dude in that perspective too, because remember, our perception of him is totally chaotic. We're not seeing him clearly. No one shot anyone. No one's capable of doing anything like that. But it's there for correction of our own mind. So then all this appreciation comes out. There's appreciation again. I love that. So fun. And it's appreciation just comes for Alec Baldwin and this person who seems to be Alec Baldwin, and appreciation for the lesson that's coming through, because I'm projecting this for myself to extend. And here's where extending is. Okay, this is what we can extend. We can't extend empathy. See, we can't extend it. We can project it. So when it comes to empathy, it's two people projecting. That's all it is. No one's reaching each other. Okay, compassion is an extension. It's an extension of peace. Okay, so empathy, that's why empathy is valuable. It's valuable for your guide. And you might not call your guide the Holy Spirit. It doesn't matter. The name does not fucking matter. Okay, the name Holy Spirit to me is like, and you know, I let myself have whatever one is like that for me. It could change to something else tomorrow. I don't care. I'm not attached to the name Holy Spirit. It's a freaking name. Okay. So I give it for reinterpretation. When I get an empathetic sense, I don't know compassion. I need a correction. My mind needs a correction. All I'm doing is projecting in the moment. So I'm not against having an empathetic sense. I'm happy. I embrace the empathetic sense. Every sense is meant to be embraced because it's a sense. The body is a sense. It's meant to be embraced. It's meant to be held in a gentle space in the mind. This isn't a physical thing. This isn't a what you should do thing. The doing comes from the observation. From the quality of your observation comes the action. It's always a matter of who's your guide, who's guiding your decision. Because the decision is always for the truth, or it's for the illusions you made. It's for tension, or it's for relaxation. Really. You know, all senses are valuable. And all senses are being made known to you through the body sense, through the sense that you're in a body. And of course, I know you guys all know, although there may be someone else listening later on or recording that doesn't know this, but you are not in your body that you think like you think. You are not in there. It's in your mind. It's a projection in your mind. It's not separate from your mind because it's a projection, but it is very different from your mind in the fact that you're you're not in that. And you're not any of the things that it makes you seem to be. Speaking nothingness. It's separate in that way. You're projecting it. So you can find yourself doing anything in a sense perception, and you can allow yourself to be at peace with it. That's a matter of choosing. You can have any perception. It could be the weirdest thing, like, say you're in Alec Baldwin's shoes, right? And you just like got the perception that you accidentally shot and killed, maybe, I don't know, I don't remember, a particular person. And you can choose to remain at peace because nothing is happening. And that's exactly the kind of vibration, and I sense it right now, that was being extended to Alec Baldwin through me. That's the kind of vibe, because remember, the way I made Alec Baldwin is an illusion, but he is not an illusion. He's not out there. He is me. We're one. There's one child of God. We are co-creators and we are co-creating, but this is not what we're co-creating. This is what we're projecting. And the only way for co-creating to occur is through that extension. Co-creating doesn't occur through anxiety, wanting, desiring, trying to get people to understand things, pretending that you think you see in truth when you see some kind of guilt or shame or darkness on a person. Extending isn't pretending. There's a tendency to get so caught up with the materialistic aspect. It seems like that's all there is. So then we think we attain some spiritual sight when we can perceive someone having defiled themselves spiritually. No one can defile themselves spiritually. That's only just a perception. If you're willing to see through what you made of them, you're going to have the spiritual sight that reflects the truth about you. That's not the truth about you. The sense that some people are lacking innocence. The sense that their spiritual body isn't as bright and shiny as another spiritual body. There's one spiritual body. So what's that saying about you? If the source is you, what's that saying about you? And is that true? See, that's what I mean about let them off the hook. Let them out of the thing you made of them, those confines. The way you confine them to this certain scenario, the certain person that doesn't have a gift for you somehow. Like, oh, I can't learn anything from them. Or, oh, I can learn something from them. This is a good one. I can learn something from them. I can learn how not to be. That's fun, huh? Like you have a choice. Well, I'm never gonna act like that. I love how my dream plays out, because it's so funny. I see all the synchronicities and stuff now. So it's going As soon as I think the thought, like I'm not going to do that, or, oh, I haven't done that in a while, I find myself doing it. It's fun and I'm happy about it. Like anything, whatever you're gonna do, you're gonna do anyways. So you might as well be happy about it. Whatever it is, you're gonna do it anyways, and it's for healing, and it's blissful, and it's meant for you. So you might as well be happy about it. Why not? And if you're not happy about it, then be not happy about it. It's just that's a choice, right? Own it. I'm choosing to be not happy about this when I can choose to be happy about it. This is own that. I'm making myself unhappy over this. Not because of it, over it. As if it is a thing passing and I'm grabbing it and going, oh, wait a minute, stay right here. I want to make myself upset about that. It's the same thing with something passing away, even a baby. It's the same thing. It's just things are apparently changing. And when the mind is aware of that things are constantly changing, there's no perception of loss. Even in an apparent death, there's no perception of loss. There's just gratitude. Oh, that's how long that relationship in that form, because the relationship continues and it never started and it never stopped. It's eternal. The relationship continues. That form of relationship has dissipated. Oh, that's how long that relationship was supposed to last. Okay. And you can laugh about the illusion that something got lost, that something passed away. Okay. The fear that the ego brings up on this, I know this one. Well, if people think this, then it's just okay to go around killing people. The thing is, compassion isn't like that. If you lean in this direction, you're not going to find yourself wanting to kill people. It's nothing like that at all. You find yourself wanting to take care of everyone. You find because everyone's you. Because everyone is you. You're taking care of them in a different way, though. You're taking care of them mentally, which is all this is. It's a mental thing. The physical arises out of the mental and expresses itself. It expresses itself. You have nothing to do with it, even if it comes out of you, which a lot of it does. A lot of caring does come out of you, apparently. And it seems to come from other people too. And the more you're willing to look from the perspective of mind over matter, the more you'll find people in your experience that seem to be on that wavelength with you too. But there's definitely a period where it seems like everyone's against you. It's not that they're against you. It's that you doubt. You doubt that the world is really a projection of your mind. So you still see them as separate. And they're popping up in the way they're popping up to help you resolve that apparent vision that they're separate. That's why they're popping up. And they pop up intensely at first. It's like the ego goes, no, 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 no. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to know. I don't want you to know that I'm just an illusion. I don't want it to be like that. So the ego will pop up and place all of these perceptions of all of these people who are telling you you're crazy, they're against you. All kinds of circumstances pop up that make it seem like you've gone mad. And this can go on for years, apparent years, depending on how stubborn you are. It's not set in stone. It's just depending on how stubborn you are. And how stubborn you are also depends on how much experience you have. What experience, what experiences you've had and what you've learned through the experience you've had up to this point in time. That's all it is. Your willingness will come. It's a dream of awakening. It's a dream of awakening. So every little bit of it is for that. And the more you're willing to see that every little bit of it is for that, the more you'll start seeing the synchronicities too, like I do. It just makes it so much fun. Everything is synchronistic. Someone will say a word to me. Someone will mention even something like a company name. Oh, have you heard of this company? You remind me of this chick from this company. And I go, oh, interesting. Very next day, someone sends me an email, mentions the very same company again. And now I don't take that as I'm supposed to do something with this company. It's just a dream. I'm not supposed to anything. It's a dream about a company popping up twice in a dream. But that's just how it is in dreams. It's like the mind's always making associations. And so what's going around and around is your mind making associations, making interpretations. It's all that's going around and around. It's nothing. It's meaningless. There's no insanity out there. The insanity is in our mind, and it's a consensus apparent reality in that way that everyone is reflecting back exactly what it is. Exactly what it is that you're thinking about yourself. They're reflecting it back. It's perfect. And it's not, you know, people misunderstand a lot because getting it in the way, like thinking of it in the way is like, if I perceive a murderer, that doesn't make me a murderer. And it's like, it's not like that. It's the reaction to the murderer. That's an awareness for you. That's the only reason you get a perception of a murderer, is to see what reaction you get. The reaction from the ego's mindset, from the ego's perception, is perfect for generating more illusions. It's perfect for that. And from the Holy Spirit's perspective, or you can say your holy guide, or your the source, you can even call it a goddess, whatever you want. You know, what that one guide with that one teacher that's the same in all of us, what that one teacher wants you to know and wants to share with you is that everything you perceive is perfect for you, so that you can get the lesson. You can teach and learn. See why it's teaching and learning? Kind of goes with that word consensus. It's teaching and learning. There's no one there. It's just all in your mind. Okay? It's true that you teach them, but you don't teach them like that. You teach them by learning for yourself, because you're always teaching them from a different way, not as just like being instructional, but from the way you think about yourself is the way you teach them to show up in your perception. That's how you teach them to show up in your perception, the way you think about yourself. That's why when one person told me recently, she said, I feel like I'm disrespected by you. And I go, well, thank you for letting me know that, because it shows me how I could be gentler with myself. See? And, you know, I've been leaning toward that for a while. And it's one of those things that, you know, at first you're like, whoa, everything is like that. Whoa, this is discombobulating. But just kind of like lean into it gently and kind of ask yourself, you know, is this true? Is this true that that this person is upsetting me, or this person is really doing something, or this person, is there something wrong with this person? There's also that attitude like, you know, if you're projecting onto me, you know, that's your problem. That's not my problem. You're over there in your own projection and I'm in my own projection. Yes, that is the case. That is the case. And whatever interpretation I'm making of your projection is for me. Okay. That's for me. I don't need to teach you that your interpretation of me is for you. I need to demonstrate that to you by doing it myself. See? And that's something I am capable of doing and choosing, because it occurs in the observation. Whatever you can do in the observation, you can do. It's just a matter of looking at it in a way that's actually a true way of looking at it. And that's, what I'm saying about giving that empathetic feeling, or that otherwise projectile, and yes, empathy is a projection, otherwise projectile feeling, sense over to the Holy Spirit to reinterpret your thoughts, That means you're feeling it, but you're not trying to interpret it for yourself. You're allowing the interpretation to come from the guide that knows the fucking mess you made of yourself and also knows who you are. Letting the interpretation come from that. Oh, by the way, you guys, while I was just talking, I noticed an email coming in where someone just placed an order on Miracle Botanicals. If you like really awesome essential oils and you're listening to this live right now, there is a special going on right now until midnight tonight, Hawaii time, okay? So that's like 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. on the East and West Coast. I said those backwards, but anyways, 15% off until midnight tonight, Hawaii time. You got to put a code in there. It's right up at the top. It shows you what the code is at the top of the website. miraclebotanicals.com. Best essential oils in the world. 15% off until midnight Hawaii time. Go to miraclebotanicals.com and use the code Mama Love. It's kind of like extended for Mother's Day. Okay. So that just popped up, and I thought I'd let you guys know, because I know some of you guys are super into Miracle Botanicals essential oils, and yeah, that's really good because they freaking rock. Yeah, they will. I'm realizing I'm not on Do Not Disturb because someone just texted me. Aloha, Leah. Thank you for texting me. I see your, I'm still going to see your text. They're just not going to make a ding. I think I'll see your text. No, maybe I won't. That's right. I won't see another one of your texts for the duration of the time I'm on Do Not Disturb. Unless I go to my text. So I love you. It's getting hot right here. The sun is coming in like a mofo. I'm thinking of taking my top off, but if I do that, I gotta go like this so you guys don't see my titties. Actually, I have a whole dress on, so that's not happening. Okay, it's fun time. Fun time is fun time. Anne loves it. That reminds me too, I was at the farmer's market. I go down the Kalapana farmer's market, you guys. If you're local or if you're coming over, go to Kalapana farmer's market. It freaking rocks. It's the best place ever. Because it has amazing local vendors, and it's not anything like mass produced commercial, nothing like that. It's like really interesting, like handmade. We got like blown glass and I got some handmade blue turmeric tincture, just beautiful stuff, and sugarcane juice, and someone juicing soursop over there. Just coconuts, of course. I got my favorite coconut peeps, Rory Crunchy and the gang. They're just so wild and loving. It's so fun down there. Anyways, I was cruising around and I had a bun. And some people get triggered by the bun. It's so fun. I love that. Some guys do. I think like maybe they had like someone with a bun hurting them when they were a kid or something like that. Maybe like spanking them with a ruler. That's why I'm making that kind of thing, that kind of gesture. Because I know like my husband went to Catholic school and he has memories of people spanking him. I think that's a better view of me. There we go. You can see me. Like there. So my husband, where was I? Just got caught up looking at myself. I love that about myself. Anne loves it too. So. What was I saying, Anne?
School. For Tony. Tony in school.
Tony in school. Oh yeah, Tony. Thank you. So when Tony was in school, he went to Catholic school, and he has memories of people slapping him with a ruler on the fingers. So I noticed sometimes when I have a bun on, some men get triggered, like they'll try to convince me that I'm not as pretty with a bun. It is so sweet. I feel so endearing with that. I'm like, aw, thank you. And they say it funny too. It's so fun, it's like, oh, you look different with that bun, and you can like sense the vibe. It's like there's the reaction to the bun is just so sweet. It's like kind of sense the vibe, and I'm just like, oh, and I'll just hold the situation in a sense, in a loving sense, and I'll be like, oh, thanks, even though, and then they'll carry on like I didn't get it. I didn't really understand what they were trying to make me understand about I don't look as good with a bun, and they really prefer me with my hair down. So I just, and I notice in myself a reaction to that. Of course, I'm projecting it. See, it's like not to try to be all stoic, like, oh, I didn't even react to that shit. Well, yes, you did, because you actually projected it. So if you're projecting it for a reaction. Guarantee you there's a reaction if you're willing to look for it, which, when you're spiritual bypassing, you're not willing to look for your reaction. That's all. So, and you got to go, I love that about myself. Why would you not? All you're doing is holding it in a sense of this is what it is, and this is fucking awesome. I'm always learning something from all of the things that I perceive, everything that I seem to go through, everything that I seem to do. Oh my gosh, I was hanging out again, Kalapana, fucking awesome place. All kinds of lessons coming up over there too. It's so good. And I was standing at this booth, and my friend was there, and she had this beautiful blue turmeric tincture, like I said. It's actually pronounced turmeric, you guys, like Turmeric. It doesn't really matter pronunciation, but I like to say it like that because we actually sell turmeric essential oil on our website, and it's not spelled TUM. But, it doesn't matter because I did put in there, if you guys screw up the spelling, you'll still get the right thing. Anyways, there's the blue turmeric tincture, and immediately my attention goes to my ankle and how there seems to be still a little bit of swelling. What is it called? Swelling? Yeah, swelling. Inflammation. That's another word for it. So, of course, it mentioned on the benefits, inflammation, number one benefit, and it blue turmeric, and my friend made it, and I felt excited and stuff. And then out of my mouth comes a bunch of delusional shit. And immediately I feel uncomfortable with it. But even in that uncomfortable, there is a willingness to relax with that and let it be the situation. It's like, delusional shit as in, yeah, I fell, and now inflammation and this, like there's cause and effect in the world. And the world is gripping like that. Like it can get you to temporarily play out something that makes it seem like cause and effect are in fact real in the world. And that's because there's a sense in the mind that cause and effect still are real. Even though there's also a willingness to see that cause and effect are not what they seem, there's still the sense, and it's all a sense, that cause and effect is true. So that's going to get you to play that sense out. It's just like, you know, Jesus had a saying, I don't know if he said it a shitload of times, but we sure did in the religious group that I was growing up in, is out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what's speaking out of your mouth when you're speaking in delusion, and when I find myself speaking in delusion, I'm glad about it. I don't feel like I screwed something up. I'm glad about it because it's revealing to my mind that there is that. And you know, without resisting the manifestation, the expression of delusion that's coming out of my mouth, there's just a willingness to see. And in that willingness to see, it opens up, the awareness opens up even more to what is causing every single perception, awareness of what is actually causing these perceptions. See, the resistance to it and trying to make yourself speak the right words or express in the right way is where you're missing the lesson. So that becomes the distraction then. So I just don't let myself get distracted by any of the delusional shit that I seem to say. You know, temporarily I'll go back and forth between being aware of what reality is, or at least what unreality is. I can't really be aware of reality when I'm perceiving unreality, but aware of unreality as such. And then there's moments where you're less aware of unreality as being unreality, and there's getting a sense that the unreality is reality, and you speak out of that. Is speak out of the sense that unreality is reality. You find yourself speaking out of that. Whenever I find myself speaking out of it, I rise in more expansion and love and glory because I don't condemn myself about it. I don't hold myself to a certain sense. You know, I just changed my name. Oh, Goda, I love you. It's like how guys say it's not woman-like to have tattoos. Yes. When I was talking about the bun, and I watched one of my friends who's bald, apparently because she has alopecia, has to shave her head, otherwise she has just these weird random fucking strands of hair everywhere. So she's standing there and she has some guy tell her right next to me, right in front of me, tell her, oh, I know who you are. Oh, you used to have long hair. Gosh, you looked so much prettier with long hair. And I'm standing there, I'm laughing, right? I'm laughing. I'm watching my friend, this friend of mine is just, her consciousness is just so open. It's like wonderful. And thank you for being that reflection to me. It's really wonderful. Because I know she's going to see right through this. But in the moment, she's looking shocked. She's looking like, oh, fuck, shocked, amazed, whatever I'm interpreting of her emotion that she's going through right there. But I'm laughing, right? And they have a little bit of exchange, and she's being gentle with him. She's like, well, actually, the reason I have my head shaved is because I have alopecia. The guy completely doesn't even get it at all. He just wants to keep on hammering into her that she looks way better with long hair. So he ends up walking away and it's all awkward. And she's like, oh, geez, I don't know why I have to. And I was like, I know why, because you're going to fucking laugh at that. You are going to laugh at that at one point. It wouldn't even be given to you if you weren't going to fucking laugh at that. And she's like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. She's like, thanks. Like that just changes the whole thing. Like this can be fun and funny. And also, this sense that you're getting that you're being condemned by the tattoos with you, Goda, or, with me with the bun, it's always going to be something. And just to hold that in a sweet space. Aw, oh, thanks. It's really sweet. It's like, it's kind of like that's their love language, because that's their way of showing that they care, to give you this good advice that they think they have for you. So you can, maybe go get your tattoos removed or find out a way to have some fucking hair. If you have to put a wig on or whatever, just find out a way to have some fucking hair, because I like to see fucking hair. It's really cute and sweet, right? And really, it's reflecting your own mind, because there are certain things that you perceive and you have a perception about them with that same vibration. And that's why it's showing up. That's why it's popping up to you, because it's like you're with stuff like that that you perceive in your experience, where you think it would just be better if it was different. And basically, they're reflecting that same thing to you. Oh, I would be better looking if I didn't have a bun on, or I would be better looking if I didn't have tattoos, or, you know, and it's funny because it's cute, because it's a common thing that is projected onto women by men. Isn't this so fun? And it's like, and it's like, this is one of the reasons we get this sense like we have to like, oh, we have to like show our might, and show them that we're show them and teach them and make them understand and all that bullshit. Now you're gonna make them understand. Don't make a fucking big deal about it. That's how you're going to get them to understand, because that's going to help you to understand. And what I mean by don't make a big deal about it, you can't help if you're making a big deal about it, but you know, get a little bit of distance from that, because you know you're projecting that. Okay, you get a little bit of distance from that so you can see it for what it really is. You know, you can see it. Oh, there I am getting caught up in something that's not real. See, it's a matter of identifying the unreality as such, instead of thinking that it's a reality. What you made of it is a reality. And now the sun is really getting in my eyes. Maybe I'm just going to be talking to you with sun in my eyes. We'll see what happens. What if I put it way over there, and then I can go like this? You guys are getting so many views of me today. I am just so happy for you. And look what else. I have underwear that match my dress. I was excited about that today. I wanted to show someone. So I just showed all of you. I thought that was really cool that the underwear matched my dress. I was like, ooh. The little things we can be excited about, right? So, oh, you guys, I don't know if you noticed, I definitely posted about it on my Facebook group, Wisdom Dialogues Online, and I also posted it on Telegram about that I did another video. I did another exercise video this week, and it's addressing the areas between the bottom of the neck up to the top of the eyebrows. And it's blocking, and you can do it with your baby block. You do it with a baby block, or you can do it with a block buddy. I don't recommend doing it with that cork yoga block that slim cork yoga block, not for this one, that you can get on Amazon, just because it seems to scratch your skin. Like when you're using the wood, you can just stretch that shit out. It's all good. It's like, you know, you think you can't stretch it out, but with the wood, you can just like put it on there and just like, and you guys, it's so relaxing. It is amazing how much tension seems to be held. Now, this tension is all in the mind. Okay, don't make any mistake. It's all in the mind, but seems to be held everywhere. And what we're doing in this way of exercising is not making pain for ourselves, not causing ourselves pain, but bringing the pain that's already there to awareness, to light. See, so you're aware of pain through sensing, through getting the sense of pain. Now, in the body sense, what we tend to do is we tend to make defensive thought patterns around the pain. So it's almost like we compartmentalize pain in our mind, and that is projected into the body as adhesions in the body. So it's like holding patterns, and these holding patterns, we make them, we develop them in childhood, and we grow around them. So we grow around these in a physical sense and in the mental sense, you know, because the physical is mental. So it's all mental. But in the physical sense gives us the clues. The physical sense is what gives us roadmap. Okay. It gives us all kinds of clues. Like anywhere that you see a wrinkle on yourself is an indication of where you can find some pain that needs to be resolved. It's not only just pain, but it's a painful pattern that's wrapped around really tightly in the mind. And what that makes is illusions of this gripping. Okay, it's like gripping, because I've seen that in my perception. Oh my gosh, it was just shown to me how we're gripping to this world in a frantic manner to even prop it up in our perception. Okay, so this gripping in the mind is making over the illusion of time, gripping in the body, which makes aging, including every single freaking wrinkle, every one of them. And it's like a roadmap. It's not like you'd have to get overwhelmed. You might go, shit, my whole fucking body is wrinkled. What do I do now? And you know what? Don't focus on the surface. Don't focus on the wrinkles, because those are just like the roadmap. Okay, what's beneath them? What needs to be touched with your awareness? It's just touched with your awareness. That's all. And you know, if that doesn't resonate with you, or you don't get it, or you don't like it, or anything like that, just let it pass right by, because this kind of thing will reveal itself in time. This whole perceived illusion, including the body, are meant to be symbols of what you're holding against yourself. They're meant to be symbolic of that. When you don't use them like that, and you use them for something else, then you miss all those symbols. You know, here's one way of missing all those symbols. I want my body, I want to use my body to be healthy so I could run around and do a bunch of shit. Okay. And so therefore I'm going to do all this other shit to try to make it healthy. So that is one way of looking at it, where, you know, the body is like this thing where you just, you know, you're in control of it, and you can just make it be healthy if you do the right things. And you can make it be in shape if you do the right things. You can make it be less tense too if you do the right things. But really, all tension is in the mind. But you know, like even with like my videos, you know, where I'm doing these exercises, where I'm using block therapy to do the exercises, you know, those are just tools of the mind. None of that stuff is even happening. And I explain in there that you don't have a choice in whether you're even doing it or not. That's an effect of relaxation. That's an effect of your willingness to relax. You know, getting a manifestation that you're laying around on a block for a block of time could be like a half hour. The one that I did was over an hour and a half. The video for from here to here was an hour and 40 minutes. You know, if you're willing to allow yourself that luxury where you can lay around for an hour and 40 minutes, just getting these sensual releases all over from here to here. Some other places too. We do a little bit of ribs and a little bit of breast work too. That's fun. But if you're willing to allow that for yourself in the first place, you're pretty open, you're pretty relaxed, you're willing to relax. Because the way this world is projected and the way we're propping it up, there's way too much shit that you need to do. That you know, you can't even justify chilling out for an hour and a half and getting some nice releases. You know, you can't even justify that time for yourself, or you know, for instance, the expense of the blocks. And you know, I looked around online to see if you can get them for any less, but no one else is selling these things, these wooden blocks in this particular shape with the full nosed edges, so it's not like, you know, cutting into you or something. The set of them is like, I think it's like $250 for the small one, and the large one, I recommend getting the whole set, right? And some people be like, no way, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find a way around that, you know? And then like for me, I was like, shit, $250, that's nothing. You know, it's like, it just doesn't even mean anything in the context of, hey, what I can use that thing for. You know, it's just kind of like, it's a no-brainer. And for everyone, it's going to be a different story, you know. And it's also, in a lot of cases, it's what you're willing to allow for yourself. In a lot of cases, many of you are, willing to spend $250 on something else. It's not like, something else comes up and it's like $250. Like for me, I think if it was a choice between fixing my car or paying the $250 for the blocks, I would probably go for the blocks. Because when I get a sense that something is that something is going to be useful, I'm shown that something is useful, I don't try to justify it anything beyond that. I don't try to justify the thing, anything. Is it useful? Oh, well then. Now, if you do go to my videos, which are on YouTube on the same Wisdom Dialogues channel, I changed my name to Awesome Hope Johnson on YouTube. So that's how you can probably find me, Awesome Hope Johnson, or Wisdom Dialogues or something like that. I started a playlist called Self-Care. And I'm not only going to be putting block therapy stuff in there too. I have ideas for other stuff. There's all kinds of stuff I like to do with my hands that I love to share with you. So, you can subscribe to that playlist, or the one with Wisdom Dialogues, or whatever you want. But those will be coming out periodically. And I put a block therapy link underneath my video. If you actually go to block therapy using my link, I get something for it. You get nothing for it, nothing special. You get the same exact price and everything. You would just be supporting me. I get 15% of whatever you spend if you use that link that's underneath my video to go there. You don't have to do that. You can just go blocktherapy.com, and Hope doesn't really need to get anything. It doesn't really fucking matter. Okay. All right. Now you're far away, so I'm going to read your thing. Sun went away too. Nice. Good timing. So my husband was not happy that I spent a whole $5 on the yoga block. Oh, I love that. I love it. That is good stuff. That is so juicy. That is like one of the most juiciest things you can possibly get. Your husband isn't happy that you spent $5 on a yoga block. That's fucking awesome. And I say, thank you for telling me, because I really want the ones that are $250. He thinks I won't do it. Oh, how fun. We'll see. Okay. We'll see if you do or not. No one knows. No one knows. You're not really capable of doing anything. Isn't that fun? But I love that.
I'm capable of doing whatever the fuck I want.
All right, dude. All right. You're so good. You hear my son Blaze? He's capable of doing whatever the fuck he wants. Why do you love it? Why do I love it? That it's that's just one of my favorite ones, because that's one that I get to, and it's so good. It's so good. It's so not your husband at all. That is you. That is a guilty fucking thought. It goes along with the scamming thing. Yeah, no, Tony does not do that to me though. He doesn't do anything. Even when I'm talking to him and I'm telling him I'm frustrated or something because of it, I tell him it's not him. I'm just using him as that. See, that's the thing. You're using him as that. You don't need to leave him. You don't need to correct him. You don't need to make him understand. You just have to see that you're making it up. And then let things unfold from there magically. Okay. Everything everyone ever says to you is right. It's always right. That's why when someone says to me, I do whatever, my son was just kidding, but even if someone was really serious and they're going, I do whatever the fuck I want, I'm just going to say, okay. I don't have an argument with that. I don't have an argument with whatever perception people have, or they think they have an argument with me. That's not even my business. I don't even care. I don't think you need to get a correction in your mind or anything. Only my mind needs a correction. If you're on Wisdom Dialogues, you might hear me saying your mind needs a correction, but I know that you are me and I am you. So my mind needs a correction whenever I'm speaking, but it might be difficult for you to understand if I wasn't saying it like this. And you do come to Wisdom Dialogues for understanding. Isn't that fun? So I can't help it. And I'm glad when it seems like someone is holding something against me, because I know that's my mind. Someone acts like I don't deserve $250 blocks. Or is it exorbitant that I pay $50 for a membership there? Right? If I pay $50 a month for a membership there too, block therapy, I use the shit out of it. I probably end up with the number of hours that I'm in there. I haven't done a calculation, but I'm guessing it's pennies per class, which doesn't even matter anyways, because the price isn't even a thing. It's like the Hawaiians say, if can, if no can, no can. Right? I don't need to try to justify it. Yesterday I bought one. They sell intensives on there too. Eventually I'll have all the intensives. Probably, I don't know for sure, but that's the direction I'm going. Yesterday I bought an intensive. It was amazing. It's like 3 hours, a 3 hour for the shoulders to facelift. Oh my goodness. That's like amazing. I love it. And then the gum one, it's like $150 for the gum one. And I've been doing that every day for like 6 weeks now. And my inside of my mouth is completely different. Totally different. Everything is like lining up, receding gum lines. I'm not even going to show them to you yet, because it still looks like there's a little bit of Cheetos left on them. But it's only a little bit now. It's not a lot. And there's one area where there's like a cavity down there. And the last time I went to see the dentist said, "Do you want me to fill it?" And I go, "No, I'm not ready for you to fill it. I still want to watch it." And in watching it, all I'm doing is watching the reactions to it, because I'm not like going, how do I fix the cavity? Oh my God. But this block therapy thing, and I saw the gums thing and I clicked in it, and I felt so drawn to it. And I just spent $250 for blocks, plus another $140 for another block, because I wanted the cedarwood one. By the way, I know where to get those. You want a cedarwood one, I'll connect you to the person who has that. And then $150 for the I was just like, yeah, it was just like a huge yes. I started doing it every day apparently, and now apparently that even that cavity is going away. It's like smaller. It's like it looks like it's filling in, and gums are growing over it too. It's like halfway covered with gums now. And it's just like, whoa, what in the world? But the thing is, it's attention, and the whole thing is attention. We're sitting there. You know what? I'm probably going to do the videos. So like because my mom is like, she wants to take all these lessons from me. She wants to do it, but she wants to take the lessons from me. She doesn't want to take them from block therapy. Like, even if I paid for her membership, she wants to take them from me. So I'm probably going to do that whole series, because my mom wants to see it, right on my self-care thing. I'll just show you guys how it's done. But basically it's awareness. It's like moves, like, you're putting like this and holding the area and just holding it there. And you're finding like pulses in the fingertips, and you're finding this pulse going through. You actually feel releasing. And that's just awareness. It's very symbolic. You're not pressing hard and trying to bust through it or anything. You're getting a sense of this movement, this motion, and you're just feeling and breathing with it too. Breathing is such an important part of it. You're breathing with it too, and you're bringing awareness to the way those things have hooked and caused like aging signs to start happening. See, that's what's making that, that's what making the illusion. It's hooking, it's hooking in the mind. It's called a hook, right? Hooking in the mind, making illusions of this hooking in the body and then wrapping around and growing around the hook. So it makes this hardness everywhere. And so when we're putting attention, that level of attention on the hooks, and that awareness, that's the awareness that allows it to get unhooked in the mind. For myself, I'll have perceptions of memories popping up, and it seems like that memory is where that got lodged. It's just like it's like something jarring, or just even slightly delusional. Even the sense like that sound over there is annoying. That's automatically gonna turn something, twist something, make it, that's the cause and effect right there. And then we wrap around it because we don't look at it for what it is. We don't want to look at it for what it is. We want to pretend like it's real and wrap thoughts around it, wrap ideas around it. And the reflection of that is wrapping this fascia just keeps on wrapping around the hook and hooking again and wrapping some more and hooking again and wrapping some more, right? So it's like this, using this body sense. There's no body to use. There's no body to use. That's the ego's way, to use the body to get something, right? Using the body sense to see where you're holding, using the body sense. So I use this block therapy tool, these blocks as a tool. A lot of times I use my hands as a tool too, to be aware of what the blocks are in the mind. See? And that's it. And that's the way to, that's really the way to exercise. When you exercise in a way like you're trying to get the body to be in a certain shape, or to take on a certain form, or to erase a wrinkle. So you don't, if you're looking at it as the purpose is to erase something, get rid of something, change something, anything like that, that's different. That's a different energy. And we go back and forth. I notice my mind going back and forth, and it's okay. You notice it going back and forth. You bring it back to what's being uncovered here when I access the pain that I've been hiding from myself. The way you hide the pain in the mind for yourself is you bury it in the body and you wrap it around with fascia. That's how you fucking do it. And that's how we make the illusion. It's kind of like in this illusion, this shit is turning us until it turns us all the way into the ground, right? You notice that with aging, people are just getting more like turned all deformed until you're just like all that stuff, all kinds of deformity. Like my little brother has this joint deformity thing where these joints stick out, and I'm going, hey, you know what, that's a sign of pain, and pain is a sign of fear. So I told my brother about that, and just, you can just like set these joints down on this and get aware of it, and it goes into alignment by itself. You don't try to push it into alignment or make it align. In fact, some of the things I'm doing with my face to people, they're like, I don't want to do that with my face, because what if it stays like that? Pulling it into certain, no, it's not like that. You're actually using that to access the pain that you're holding in your apparent face. Okay, and your pain that you're holding, but it's really fear in the mind. It's reflecting fear in the mind. So when you're looking at it like that, it's a totally different perspective. You guys, I don't give a fuck how I look. When I'm deep into, let's say, my jaw or my eye, I've been deep in my eye. I've been like in this thing. It's amazing. It's just like over time, it'll just sink, I don't give a flying fuck what I look like, because the release of the tension that makes me seem to look like anything is way more juicy than what I seem to look like in a fucking reflection. Okay. I've been watching a cavity that I supposedly have since I was 28 years old. I'm now 58 and it's never shown up. Great. So what it's an X-ray, I'm guessing. Yeah, this one's more visible, but there's no difference between the two. And yeah, I've had that experience with my daughter too, where she needed, yeah, X-ray, where she needed to get a cavity filled. Apparently, there was a big black mark in the X-ray, and she needed to get a cavity filled. So I go, okay, well, I'm not getting her any of those, whatever those fillings are called, whatever you guys use in those filling. I don't know what they're called, but it seems like it's not something I wanted in my daughter at the time. So I said, well, I'm just going to go to a different dentist, because the dentist who X-rayed it didn't do the porcelain kind. So I went to a different dentist, and I go, yeah, here's the X-rays. Just go ahead and fill that cavity right there. And they go, oh, well, we got to do our own due diligence. We can't just take X-rays from you and go drilling. We got to actually take our own X-ray. Oh, that makes sense. They take an X-ray. There's we don't know what it was, but it ain't there anymore. Whatever that seemed to be, it's not there now. Oh, good. Okay. So my daughter escaped having her tooth drilled on that day. At that time, my daughter's almost 30 right now. At that time, she was probably like a teenager or something. Oh, can you get me the charger? It's gonna die. I got MacBook Pro stuff going on. The battery starts to get weaker as it goes along. So yeah, so my daughter was probably like 12, 13, 14, something like that. And I didn't know any better. I knew something. I knew I didn't want those freaking metal fillings. That was awesome. I didn't know better about other stuff, oh, you don't actually have to get a filling just because someone said you have a cavity. That's not, you don't actually have to go drill on a person. But I showed up, I was just like, yeah, just take care of this. Something like that would pop up in my daughter in those days. And it would be like, yeah, just, how much does it cost? Here you go. Take care. Oh, you got a driller mouth? Okay, there you go. Go ahead. Take care of that. It's just like, oh, there's a problem. Go ahead and take care of it. And, I have a different approach to things at this point. When there seems to be a problem or anything needs to be, I'll question things more. And I haven't. Oh, there we go. Thanks, Ann. Ann's got me charging. Thank goodness. Because this thing it starts to go fast. It's like, oh, you got to grab Tony's. Yeah, unplug it. Yeah, totally. He doesn't mind.
Okay. I didn't know.
She got one that wasn't long enough. I only got a few minutes left anyways, but I think this one might die really fast. We'll see. If I just go out, you guys, I'll be back next week. Okay. It's all to the G. Oh, let me know if you have any questions or anything. Please feel free, raise your hand. If I just stopped mid-sentence and started talking about my charger and forgot what I was talking about, let me know. I'll get back on that for you. Oh gosh. Yay. Hooray. Okay. Maybe we are complete. I don't see any more questions. I love you guys. You're all so fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I just put my book up, Unschooling for Parents. I put it on Miracle Botanicals. So it's like really easy to order that book from me now, where you can, and thank you, Natalie. I think you're on here with me now. Thank you, Natalie, for letting me know that was what was going on, because I added the product now to Miracle Botanicals. And you can just look under, I didn't put it into any of my collections because I didn't know where to put it in a collection. But if you look under new products, it's there under new products because I just recently added it. I'm not sure where it'll actually live on my website, but you can also get a link to it on hopejohnson.org. So if you go to hopejohnson.org, you'll find everything. If you just remember my name.org, you can get to the essential oils, all the videos. You can get to all the audios. All that stuff's free. All the audios and videos, not the essential oils. Apparently, I still think I have to buy essential oils with actual money and then get actual money to pay for those. I'm just playing that pattern out. It's fun and silly. All the rest of the stuff is free. You guys know I love you, and I would share anything with you. Ah, thank you so much. Okay, so oh, thank you, Jean. Yay. Asana. Yes, thank you, Asana. You come on with a different name on here. Yeah, thank you. I changed my name to Awesome Hope Johnson on YouTube just to make it easier. Plus, it was just kind of sounding kind of weird, like Hope Johnson, comma, mystic, just to put any label on myself or anything. But I like all the labels too. I play with them all the time. Like I'll say I'm a yogi, for instance. And one of my good friends, you know, she was trained in the yogic traditions and stuff, and she's like the best yogi I've ever seen. And she will not call herself a yogi. And I just think that is so fun. You know, and I've even heard her say that person calls themselves a yogi. What are they thinking? And I just call myself a yogi and just have fun with that. You know, I like to play with all the different labels. Awesome is also a label. I also have expressed, you know I'm a fucking idiot. Okay. It's like, we can just play with that. Okay. It's really sweet. It's like, you know, and what you think you see of me has to be a complete fucking idiot. You know why? Because you made yourself into a fucking idiot to be perceiving a world that's separate in the first fucking place. Okay? It's like we're all fucking idiots. We just pretend to be pretend to be whatever we are. We're also, you know, we're all idiots as what we made of ourselves. Let's say that. So when you get a perception of me, what you're perceiving is a fucking idiot. When you get a perception of me, none of us are obviously fucking idiots in reality. We're all beyond anything good that can be said. We're all beyond anything. We're beyond the words divine, beyond the words pure love, pure light. We're beyond all of those words. The images that we made of ourselves are a bunch of fucking idiots. Okay, because they're made in delusion. They are not meant to be condemned for being idiots. They're not meant to be condemned for that. We love that they're idiots. They're being idiots for us so we can see what we're holding against ourselves. Gosh, it's like, bless that. Bless all the ignorance. You know, would you hold it against? Maybe you would. Would you hold it against the child if they were scared and they tried to hit you because they're scared? What if they're having a bad dream? What if they're having a nightmare? They wake up in the middle of the night and they're lashing out. Are you gonna hold that against them? This is the same thing. You can say these are your children, but even beyond that, there's only one child you made. And that's every single thing that you perceive, including and also being used as a sounding board for everything your body sense. Your body sense. That thing is craving and needs your compassion because you made it guilty. You're trying to pretend like it's not an idiot. And you're making the idiotic parts that you perceive guilty. Just let it be a fucking idiot and deserving of compassion too. So hooray, everyone. Thank you for hearing that. I love you. All right. Until next week, at least for Wisdom Dialogues online, I will be in person on Friday at Hawaiian Sanctuary here on the Big Island of Hawaii. If you're around, come see me. If you're not around, get your ass over to Hawaii. Like you have a choice in it or something, right? Really enjoyed listening today. Me and daughter streaming on Zoom as driving back from camping through Mountain Pass, saw double rainbow. Beautiful. Oh, I love that. Beautiful synchronicity. I love you, Yulia. You need a retreat in Hawaii? Get your ass over here. It's easy shit. It's really way, way easier than you think. The only reason you're not finding yourself, you do not have COVID. That's not true. We know that already. But You did get the COVID vaccine. I just love to point that shit out. You did get the COVID vaccine. It's very common to think that you got the COVID. No one actually gets a COVID vaccine. It doesn't do anything, but it's very common. It seems, at least in my perception, very funny that people who think they got the COVID vaccine also think they get COVID, and not only once, but multiple fucking times. So that's a fun perception to have. That's a pretty fun perception, because I know the vaccines don't do shit. I know they're not capable of doing anything. I know what the stories are about them. I know what the stories are. You didn't get your third booster. Nice. Hey, maybe this shit isn't working. That's good stuff. Maybe I won't try a poisonous cocktail again to try to prevent myself from getting sick. This is great. I love it. I love that about us. You want to go back? Get back, baby, get back. The vaccine, got the vaccine. It expired. Oh yeah, it expired. It expired. Your vaccine expired, and then you got COVID. Yeah, that's good. I do know a ton of people who got sick, no vaccines too. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I got a sense of that too. But you know what? There is no such thing as this thing that we're calling COVID. It's just plain ass sickness, and every sickness is exactly the same. Every sickness is projected from a sense that from a mental illness. Let's say that, a sense that you're separate. It's a mental illness. It always is, every single time. No one got anything but fear manifest, and no one got anything ever. Cancer. Oh, speaking of cancer, I was telling you guys I was blocking this thing, right? I told you guys. I don't know if you can even see it now. Oh, look at my arm. It's pretty buff. All right. So it's also a little hangy down there. We'll see how that goes. Isn't that fun? I love that. And you know what's the funny thing about the hangy part is? That feels good, dude. Try it, Ann. Just like feel that. Does that feel good? That's what it's for, guys. Fucking that good releasing feeling right there. That, Ann's eyeballs are rolling back in her head. That good releasing feeling right here is what arm flab is for. That's what it's for. That good releasing feeling right there. That's what it's for. Because that is actually, when you're releasing tension like that, you're not running around in the mind. You actually have to take a break. You actually have to take a break from that shit to sit there and release tension. If you'll allow yourself, you'll just allow yourself, instead of going, oh, how do I get rid of this? Oh, let me hide it. Oh, don't touch the back of my arm. I hate that when guys come up and just pinch this fat. No, I love it. So anyways, I was telling you guys, I had this sense that I had like, this is looking pretty bruised right now because I just like had been playing with it. Plus I got a massage. So a bruise like this is a symbol of the awareness coming back in. Everything has gone back into more of a softer, gentler appearance. Like this whole construct right here, when I start doing this to it, you guys, and that feels, it feels really good. It feels releasing. And what I found, I start doing that, and what I found was a whole line going all the way up to here, like this, whole line of pain, like this. And I can see where a couple more of these would be probably popping out if the pain, whatever made that illusion of this stuff lodging right here, the pain in the mind wasn't allowed to release. This is exactly how it's allowed to release, you guys. The attention on it over time, and with nice deep breath, and not really trying to change anything. When you're in releasing mode, you're not trying anything. You're just releasing, you're just relaxing. You're just noticing where the tension is, and you're allowing it to release. All this shit, Ann, where you get like the creepy skin and stuff like that, like it's all just tension. I start doing that and all this stuff gets smoother. And this part right here where it just like shrunk up super small, smaller than I've seen it in 2 years, totally not festering or anything. Well, it was smaller at one point because I used black salve and I thought it was gone actually, because it was gone for a minute, but then it popped back out. But other than that, just holding right on it. When I first put pressure on it, it was kind of like a sore. It kind of looked like an open sore. And it just occurred to me it needs attention. So I just started like putting my finger on the open sore like it was a stingy fucking sore. And I just start putting my finger on it like that. And I'm letting it have the attention, like the pulsing. I'm feeling the area until I felt like it was good to start, in different ways too. I'll take it like this and I can feel where the pain is. And as long as I'm feeling where the pain is and I'm breathing gently, I'm breathing calmly, then I'm not gonna hurt myself. Even if I get a perception of a bruise, I know that bruise is just symbolic of blood and oxygen that wasn't coming in, which is really awareness that wasn't being allowed to address painful thoughts. Wasn't because it was because the mind was defending against painful thoughts. These are all symbolic, all of these things, even cancer, apparent cancer. I don't even know. I didn't go get it tested or anything like that, but that's usually what people call it. And it doesn't really mean anything. It's all the same. It's the same as a flu, treat it the same way. It needs awareness, of course, you can't go pinch the flu, but, who knows? There is stuff like you feel like there's congestion in your chest or something, pressure, I would take the block and I would go do some chest blocking with that thing. I would put pressure on that area to the extent that it felt good and relieving because it needs attention. It's lacking attention. That's what it is. And the attention is really, it's mental. So you're using the body more as a symbol or a roadmap. Okay. It's really beautiful. I didn't get any vaccine and haven't been sick for years. Yeah, that's the kind of, and I have, my friend Leia, she got the perception that she got COVID. I knew she didn't have any fucking COVID, but she got the perception that she had COVID. She doesn't do any vaccines ever. Okay. So it's not like vaccinated people get COVID and unvaccinated people don't. There's no such thing as COVID, and this thing is an illusion. Okay. I'm in the same boat with you, Lori. I haven't had the perception of any kind of respiratory kind of illness since the beginning of COVID. Since the beginning of COVID insanity, I have not had a respiratory thing the whole time, and neither has my husband. I haven't seen it in my husband. I haven't seen it in in either of my sons, and one of them got one vaccine. So there you have it. My family didn't get it. They got their boosters. Yeah, it's just so chaotic. It's not like that. It's not like if this, then this. The vaccine is not really poisonous, okay? The vaccine is not really poisonous. And at the same time, I'm not going around drinking something like, I don't know, whatever, Red Bull, let's say. I'm not like feeling like I need poisonous concoctions that are like intentionally poisonous concoctions in myself. Like that's not really something that I feel like I'm drawn to. But you know what? The other thing is if I'm guided to it, I'll do it. As I'll do anything. It doesn't matter. If I'm guided to it, I'm willing to do it. I'll do anything. I don't mind. If I get the perception that something's poisonous, which it's not poisonous, but if I get the perception of something poisonous, I'm not normally drawn to ingest something poisonous, okay? Not normally drawn to that. And when it comes to stuff like the things that the medical establishment really wants to inject into you, yeah, on the surface, that's some poisonous ass shit. If you look up those ingredients, they're all killer ass ingredients, okay? But they're meaningless, and you can see the meaningless of it. Look at this is perfect because it's like the unvaccinated type are saying all the vaccinated people are going to die. Vaccinated people are saying the unvaccinated people are going to die. And that's not necessarily true. It's just that the dogmatic kind are saying stuff like that. We can see that it's completely chaotic and death just occurs. It's not being caused by anything. We're making up causes. It's not caused by anything. The whole thing about taking a vaccine and everything like that is like one perception. There's no cause and effect like that. All the same, and so are vaccines. Yes, I haven't been sick since the beginning until now. And strangely, it's not respiratory. It's weird. It's a lot of extreme fatigue. Yeah. Well, sickness is sickness. It's an impossible thing. Sickness is just an impossible thing. It's like no one deserves it. No one did anything to make themselves sick. Get that off of your fucking plate right away. Because if you do that, you're attacking yourself. You're going to get an illusion that you're sick and that you did something wrong and you're suffering like a motherfucker. You do not want that. Okay. And I had chills and body aches at the beginning. I'm just exhausted by the trip. Yeah. That's another thing. Just being exhausted. It's like always looking at your mind. You're not exhausted because of anything. And it might seem like you're exhausted because of anything. I have that occur for me too. I might even speak out that I'm exhausted because of something, but I'm aware of everything that I speak even. So I can deny truth to that, even if it just flew out of my mouth. And I don't even have to correct myself to people around me who wouldn't even understand my correction anyways. Remember, the teaching and learning is in the observation. Okay, I'm really going now. I love talking with you. I love you. Until next time, mahalo, aloha, and a hui ho.